Now, before we move ahead, we've just launched the TCS NQT course, which has 175 plus hours of course content. It completes the whole syllabus for the foundational section and also the advanced coding section. The best part is we've also partnered with TCS Ion, so you'll get one certification from TCS Ion in the skill of your choice and also certifications from Prepinsta as well. The TCS NQT course is also included in the Prepinsta Prime subscription, in which you get 150 plus other courses like C, C++, Java, Python, data structures, competitive coding, skills like artificial intelligence, machine learning. Pretty amazing. The link is in the description of the video. I recommend you to check out. You'll surely love it.
Hello everyone. For this video, we are going to learn about the verbal ability sections for the TCS NQT that TCS has recently announced. So we are going to learn about the question pattern. What type of questions does TCS give for the verbal section? And to let you know that we have the basic, that is the foundation, and the advanced section in TCS NQT, but the verbal section is only applicable or is only present in the foundation section, and you don't have any advanced verbal in the advanced section. Alright, so make sure that you get this clear, that you don't have any advanced verbal and you have only one section of verbal in the foundation round. Alright, so let's begin with the practice of the verbal ability questions and answers. Alright, so great thing, top 3 commenters on this video are going to get free access to Prepinsta Prime. So make sure that you start commenting. You can comment anything about your questions, your doubt or your answers, or something helpful that you find on Prepinsta, or something that you can help to other students about Prepinsta. You can comment anything. So you are going to get a free Prepinsta Prime access. Along with that, you also have the Prepinsta website as well. So make sure that you start commenting, start brainstorming and comment something good. All right. Moving ahead. All right. So if you're not following us on our social media handles, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Discord, Facebook, WhatsApp and Telegram, and make sure that you are following us on all of the social media handles along with YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that notification bell so that you get notified, because we come up with regular video updates, and because the drive season is in full-fledged open, we are going to continuously and regularly update you with new videos and live sessions. So make sure you get connected with us on all of our social media handles. All right, so let's begin with the questions. Now, for the TCS NQT verbal section, the difficulty level is not too high, not too easy, right? So the difficulty level is in the medium level, if we say. So you get questions from variety of topics such as fill in the blanks, or basic grammar, or reading comprehension, jumbled sentences, passage arrangement, cloze test, etc., etc. All right, so we are going to prepare for all of the questions from easy to medium to difficult level. Make sure you have a pen and a notepad with you, because I want you to answer these questions along with me. All right, so as I'm presenting you with the questions, you should solve it before you look into the explanations. All right, with that said and done, let's begin with the questions. The first question says, select the most appropriate option to complete the sentence. So this is a fill in the blank sentence. It was dash a new experience for me to attend a Zoom meeting, so I planned for it dash. All right, options given to us are surely, gently, quite, carefully, occasionally, basically, or none of the above. All right, so in order to understand the answer, let's see the sentence structure first. It was dash a new experience for me to attend a Zoom meeting. So the speaker here says that that he or she is attending the Zoom meeting for the first time. It's a new experience. Now, whenever we quantify anything or anything abstract, something that cannot be seen or touched, for example, experience, we go with the word quiet. It was quite a new experience. Why can we say this answer? Because for the second blank, so I planned for it. All right. The person is saying that the person planned for it. And whenever you plan something very logically or very carefully. You are very careful while planning ahead. So we are going to use the word carefully and quiet for this sentence. Hence, option B over here becomes the correct answer. All right. Moving ahead. Sentences of a paragraph are given below in jumbled order. Arrange the sentences in the correct order to form a meaningful and coherent paragraph. So we have a jumbled sentence question over here. Let's go through the sentences. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 sentences which are jumbled together. Let's see the order and the answer. The effort of talking in a foreign language also makes people reflect more on what they are saying and take more rational decisions while speaking. Now here we see the first sentence has the word also. This means that this should not be the first statement. Why? Because the word also means giving additional information and not the first or the basic information. So we are going to keep it for a later sentence. Anyone who lives or works in a non-English speaking country benefits hugely from almost any familiarity with its language. Now here we know that the sentence is talking about people living in non-English countries, but we don't know the context yet. That means even this cannot be the introductory sentence. Beyond the individual benefits, 21st century global relations and economics vitally need people who can function fluently abroad. Now, this starts with the preposition beyond the individual benefits. That means the individual benefits have been stated before. So again, this cannot be the introductory sentence. With the global rise in English. So here states the theme of the passage. With the global rise in English, many native English speakers question the need to learn a foreign language. So what is the context of the sentence? The first theme is the rise of English language in the world. So, with the global rise in English, many native English speakers question the need to learn a foreign language, but there are several good reasons to do so. And after this, we are going to talk about the reasons. So, 4 comes first. All right, 4 comes first. Then we can see what are the, who are the people, what about the people who are not living in English countries? They benefit hugely from almost any familiarity with its language. So 2 comes next. The effort of talking in a foreign language also makes people reflect. So this is given an additional information about the non-English people. All right, so we go with 1. And finally, we have 3, which talks about the century global relations and economics. Right, so we have 4, 2, 1, 3. That means we have option D as the correct answer. All right, moving ahead. The following paragraph contains 4 sentences, 3 of which are grammatically incorrect and only 1 is correct. From the given options, select the sentence that is grammatically correct. So we have 4 sections or 4 sentences which are sentences which out of which 3 are grammatically incorrect and 1 is correct, and we have to choose the one that is correct. Products have limited life not only for the consumer's viewpoint but also as far as the producer is concerned. Over here, what is the error? For the consumer's viewpoint. Why? Because when we are talking about someone else's viewpoint, we don't use the preposition for, but we use the preposition from the consumer's viewpoint, because it is coming from another direction, from another person's viewpoint. So this is an incorrect sentence. For example, a particular model of car might last 5 years before production is stopped and it's replaced by a completely new model. Now here, for example, has a comma over here. A particular model of car might last 5 years before production is stopped. Again, this tense is over here completely correct, and it is replaced by a completely new model. So before it, the model is outdated or the production is stopped, it is replaced by a completely new model. So this sentence is actually grammatically correct. New inventions and technology has made many products obsolete. What is the error in this sentence? Since the subject new inventions and technology has been joined by the conjunction and, we cannot use a singular verb, we have to use a plural verb over here, that is have. All right, we cannot use has. So this sentence is incorrect. Fashion can be another major influence on the lives of a product. Again, since product over here is singular, we cannot use lives. Instead, we have to use life over here. All right. So again, this sentence is incorrect and the answer becomes statement 2 or option B. All right. Answer becomes statement 2. Okay. So before we move towards another question, I want to quickly give you a glance of Prepinsta Prime. Why? Because it is going to help you and it is going to give you a very good experience at learning, practicing and preparing for TCS NQT or any other drive that is going to come soon, right? So Prepinsta Prime is here for you. We have entire course list over here which you can go through if you want to prepare from here. Then we have the certifications for you, right? So what are the certifications? We have the Prepinsta Nano Degree certification. Along with that, we have the TCS Ion Remote Internship certification as well. Let me tell you, because you're preparing for TCS NQT as of now, and you will be preparing for other companies as well, the TCS Ion Remote Internship certification is going to help you a lot and is going to add another star to your resume if you have this mentioned in your resume. So make sure you have this certification in your resume. Also, the good news is that we are giving this for free with a Prime subscription. So if you want to avail the certification for free, you can definitely subscribe to Prime. Benefits are you can prepare for your companies as well as you're getting an added benefit in your resume. Moving ahead, we have the entire skills, languages, coding, aptitude, platforms, company sections divided into service and product based for you. And then we have the interview preparation section because, to be honest, the selection process does not end at the selection test but continues with the interview. So interview preparation is again a major milestone for any student. Moving ahead, we have CA subject, coding, brush up, etc., etc. So this website is a one-stop shop for any student who wants to prepare for various companies and not just pay for one company itself. So once you subscribe to Prepinsta Prime, you have everything on this website right at your hand. All right, let's get back to the question. We are going to discuss Prepinsta Prime a little later again. So let's get back to the questions right now. In the following passage, some words have been deleted. Read the passage carefully and select the most appropriate option to fill in each blank. As the world economy wakes back up, shortage and price spikes are affecting everything from the supply of Taiwanese chips to the cost of a French breakfast. One kind of bottleneck deserves special attention: the supply side problems such as scarce metals and land constraints that threaten to dash the green energy boom. Now, there are two keywords over here. First is threaten and the second is energy boom. So we see that there is going to be a negative impact, threaten, on a positive thing, that is energy boom or green energy boom, right? So we need a word that is going to sufficiate this negative aspect or negative action of the scarcity of metals and land constraints. All right. So we need a negative word. Obviously, glow is not a negative word or blow is not a negative word, because if you use the word blow, it means that it is blowing up. All right, that means it is increasing the energy boom and not reducing it. Now, low or slow. Whenever we use the word low, we always use in the form of verb, that is lower the green energy boom. All right, it is not low, but it is lower the green energy boom. Hence, instead of using low, we are going to use the word slow. Threaten to slow the green energy boom. That means to reduce the pace of the green energy boom. All right, so we are going to use the word slow. Let's see if the second word fits into the second sentence. Far from being transitory, these bottlenecks risk becoming a recurring feature of the world economy for years to come, because a shift to a dash energy system is still only in its infancy. Shift to a what energy system? Shift to a cleaner energy system is only in its infancy. All right, so we can use the word slow and cleaner. That means over here, option B can be the correct answer. All right. So this passage is a continuation of the previous question. So let's continue the passage over here. It's again another cloze test pattern. Government must respond to these market signals, facilitating a huge private sector investment boom over the next decade that increases capacity. And if they do not, they stand little chance of keeping their promises to reach net zero dash. And there has been a dramatic shift in the attitude of business. So, keeping their promises to reach net zero what? If you are, wanting to reduce something to net zero, that is reflecting a global market, that is reflecting private sector investment, it means that you are reflecting net zero remissions. Remissions means the toxic metals or toxic gas that comes out during pollution. So if you want to decrease your pollution level, if you want to decrease your environmental issues, you have to reach the net zero remission capacity. All right. So we have the word remissions over here. It cannot be infections or discharges because infections, obviously, it is not related to the economy, or discharges, again, the same reason. Investors are demanding that firms change tack spurred by the new reality that clean technologies are more dash competitive. So what are investors saying? That because they are not resorting to the cleaner technologies, because they are cost competitive. Cost competitive means there are a lot of other technologies that have the same cost, and the cleaner technology is going to cost more. So it is very cost competitive. All right. So we can again use the word remission and cost. So again, option B becomes the correct answer. All right. Remissions, net zero remission, that means net zero pollution, and cost competitive. All right. Let's talk about another sentence over here. For the 4 sentences, 1 to 4 paragraph below, sentences 1 and 4 are given from P, Q, R and S. Select the appropriate sentence for 2 and 3 respectively. The totalitarian regimes established in 1920s and 1930s grossly violated human rights in their own territories. This was reflected in the Charter of the UN signed on 26 June 1945. Alright, so we have sentences P, Q, R and S which needs to be put in a manner that it sufficiates sentence 2 and sentence 3 over here. Alright, so we have to remove 2 sentences and put in 2 sentences over here. The ideas of elaboration and protection of human rights have been gradually transformed into written laws. During the Second World War, there was a massive abuse of human life and dignity. However, the Charter does not establish any specific mechanism of implementation. It became clear that international instruments were needed to codify and protect human rights. All right. So first sentence talks about the totalitarian regimes established in 1920s and 30s grossly violated human rights in their own territories. After stating about the human rights violation, we need to talk about an incident that proves that there was a human right violation, right? And that incident over here is sentence Q. During the Second World War, there was massive abuse of human life and dignity. So we need to talk about an instance where human rights violation had taken place. So we use Q as the second sentence. All right, S2 becomes Q. Next, the last sentence talks about it was reflected in the Charter of the UN signed on 26th of June 1945. Now over here, this sentence talks about the Charter. This sentence introduces the Charter. So we cannot use the sentence that already talks about the Charter before introducing it, right? So R is going out of context. The ideas of elaboration and protection of human rights have been gradually transformed into written laws, right? Before this, we have to talk about what instrument has been assigned in order to, give due importance to human rights. And that is, it became clear that international instruments were needed to codify and protect human rights, due to which the Charter of UN was signed on 26 June 1945, right? So sentence 3 becomes S, because it is talking about international instruments that was needed to codify and protect human rights. So sentence 3 becomes statement S. So the answer becomes Q and S, which is option C. Okay, so a quick reminder, if you're not following us on our social media handles, make sure you're connected with us on Instagram, Discord, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Telegram, because we have a direct interaction with our students on Discord, and we give you regular drive updates on Instagram, which is segregated into batch division. So even if you are from 2023 or 2019 batches, we have dedicated pages for each of the batches. So make sure you connect with us on all of our social media handles, and you subscribe to our YouTube channels, because we keep giving you regular videos on preparation and live videos on several drives that are conducted, and you ring the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we are updating any video, which is regularly. All right, so let's move forward with the questions now. Select the most appropriate antonym of the given word. The word given over here is erratic. All right, and the options are variant, concurrent, sporadic, or consistent. All right, so what is the meaning of the word erratic? Erratic is a word that means someone who is not having a fixed emotion, someone who is very anxious, someone who gets all over the place, and someone who is, let's say, not fixed emotionally or mentally, someone who has a lot of tasks to do and cannot think of one particular thing to complete and then move on to the next, right? So the person is very erratic. So the antonym means opposite word. What is the meaning of the word variant? Variant means something that continuously keeps changing, something that is not fixed again. So this is a synonym of the word erratic, right? Concurrent. Concurrent means something that is running parallelly with other things. So that one thing is running in one direction, another task or another thing might be running in the same direction in another place. That is concurrent. All right. Sporadic. Sporadic again means something that is not fixed, something that is spread all over, something that is not in a proper situation, in a proper way. So that is the meaning of the word sporadic. And consistent. Consistent means something that is fixed. A person who is consistently doing something good, a person who is consistently, keeping up the good work. That is the meaning of the word consistent, means to have a fixed posture. All right, so the meaning or the antonym of the word erratic can be consistent, which means to have a fixed way of behavior. All right, so we can say that option D, or the word consistent, can be the correct answer as an antonym for erratic. All right, moving forward, we have a reading comprehension, a short reading comprehension for you. Let's go through the passage quickly and answer the question. Genealogy is fun. Just a piece of furniture or a picture takes on much more interest if you know its history. So does an individual become much more real once the ancestral elements that shaped him are known. An in-depth family history is a tapestry of all those to whom we owe our existence. So the subject of the passage or the theme of the passage is genealogy, and it is described in the remaining lines. All right, so what is the question? Which of these statements can be inferred from the passage? So this is an inferential based question, and it asks us to identify a statement that can be inferred from the passage that is given to us. So since we have already read the passage, this means that we're talking about the term genealogy and how it is related with an individual. Let's go through the options. Finding out about our ancestors is more interesting than researching the history of objects. To know a person well, one must know the family history and the events in his or her life. Knowing the genealogy of a person makes the person more real. Genealogical research can bring meaning and life to a person's history. Now, let's talk about these options one by one. Finding out about our ancestors is more interesting than researching the history of objects. In the entire passage, we don't have any comparison between objects and individuals. There is only a simile or an example between the objects and the individual. So we don't have any comparison that is more interesting. So this option is ruled out. To know a person well, one must know the family history and events. No, if If you're only knowing the family history and the events in his or her life, you don't know the person completely. Knowing the genealogy of a person makes the person more real. So this line where it says, so does an individual become much more real once the ancestral elements that shaped him are known. So we are talking about the reality of the students, how a person can become much more real to another person if you know the genealogy, if you know the ancestral elements of the person, right? So this can be inferred from the passage. Again, genealogical research can bring meaning and life to a person's history. We're not talking about how much meaning or how much life a person's history can get from genealogy, but how much real a person can get through genealogy, right? So we can say that option C that states, knowing the genealogy of a person makes the person more real should be the correct answer. That is inferred from the passage that is given to us. All right, moving ahead. Now, before we again move ahead, I'm going to quickly get you back to Prep Insta Prime and show you how you can prepare for the verbal section on Prep Insta Prime. Now, once you come onto the aptitude section on this website, you can go inside the verbal course and we have the entire structure of how you can prepare from the basics to the advanced section. Once you come on to this section, you have the verbal basics and then you have the preparation section starting from the basics of grammar up to your vocabulary and extra practice questions as well. So once you come on grammar, you have the tenses theory because this is the most basic theory that you need to know in order to answer the questions. Then you have articles and then you have relative pronouns, subject, verb, agreement, etc. So you have the theory video, you have the practice question videos where we are discussing a few questions as well. And then you have the practice question as well, where you can practice a number of questions for yourself to understand and evaluate your performance. Similarly, you have reading comprehension, where you have reading comprehension para jumbles. And then we have the sentence completion, where you have sentence and word completion, cloze test, fill in the blank, etc. You have the theory as well as the practice question. Then you have narration, you have vocabulary with active and passive voice, synonym, antonym, selecting words, contextual vocabulary, etc., etc. So from here, you can practice for the entire verbal ability section along with the theory. You have the practice questions. So let's quickly see one of the videos over here. So let's go to the intenses theory, and if you play the video, right, you see that we have explained the entire theory in a very simple manner so that you understand, and even a person who has no knowledge in tenses can understand and learn from this, right? So we have the entire theory for you, practice questions and practice videos as well. So yes, you can prepare for the entire verbal section from here. All right, let's get back to the questions now, shall we? All right, select the most appropriate option that can substitute the underlined words in the given sentence. Education, experience and references are some of the standards on which a judgment is based when selecting candidates for a job. So what do you have to do? You have to understand the phrase which is highlighted and choose one term for the entire phrase. So standards on which a judgment is based is the phrase given over here, and we have to look for one word for it. Paradigm, criteria, agenda, statutes. What does the word paradigm mean? Paradigm means a format or a pattern of something, or let's say a rule or law of something. Criteria means sub-standards or standards on which again a judgment is based. Agenda means topic of discussion. All right, whenever we are given an agenda of something, that means a topic or a subject of discussion. And statute, again statute over here means set of rules or set of laws. So according to this, criteria becomes the correct answers because this means standards on which a judgment is based. When you're based on certain criteria, that means you're based on certain set of standards. All right, so criteria becomes the correct answer for this question. All right, moving ahead. One part of the sentence below might contain an error. Identify the error or choose no error. He had been married with the doctor for 5 years. For 5 years, he had been married, no error or with the doctor. Now, since we're talking about the past situation, that was past in 5 years, it's way into the past, we are going to use the past perfect tense, which is again had been married. So this is completely correct. For 5 years, again, we are talking about a period of time. So again, for 5 years is completely correct. What is incorrect is with a doctor. Whenever we are using the word married as a verb in the past, we only use the preposition to with it and not with. Whenever we are using marriage, a noun with another noun, marriage with a doctor would be fine, but a verb relating with a noun uses the verb to and not with. All right. So he had been married to a doctor for 5 years and not with a doctor. So over here, option D becomes the correct answer because option D states the incorrect part of the sentence. So a verb connecting with the noun will take the preposition to in case of married but not with. All right. Okay. Up next, we have another cloze test or another completing the sentence kind of a question. Choose from the list A to C the most appropriate sentence for each gap 1 and 2 in the text. There is one extra sentence that you do not need to use. So we have 3 sentences but 2 blanks. So 1 extra sentence will be eliminated. Transformation is usually painful because it involves a process, a means to find an end. Then we have a blank. In pain is our true enlightenment as our crucial lessons are learned here. So first we're talking about transformation, we're talking about a process, and then we are talking about pain and enlightenment. All right, so let's read the sentences. Attainment, on the other hand, is happiness because you gained what you wanted. Now over here, we are not talking about attainment. We are not talking about happiness or something that you gain, but we're talking about pain and transformation, right? So the sentence that talks about attainment will be eliminated from here. So we have B and C left. So either it can be C or B, or it can be B and C. Let's see. Without process, however, there is no achievement. So there is no gain without pain. Sentence B talks about the process that has been mentioned before, and then it introduces there is no gain without pain. After this sentence, we are talking about pain over here, right? So understand the connection. The first sentence introduces the process. The second sentence should talk about the process and introduce the pain concept. And then the following sentence should talk about the pain, right? So option B or statement B over here comes, followed by C. How long the process continues will depend on how fast we learn our lessons. The following sentence says, for humans, evolution is painfully slow as it takes the longest to learn. So we are talking about the duration of how much a human can take in order to learn, right? And that is painfully slow. So before that, we have to introduce the term time or process or duration, and that is where option C comes into play. So we use sentence C in the second blank. So B and C becomes a chronology, and we use option A as the correct answer. All right, that is B and C. Okay, moving forward with the next question. Complete the sentence below by using an appropriate word from the option. Abdul is confident dash the scholarship. Of winning, to win, in winning, or for winning. All right. Abdul is confident. Now here the adjective confident is used, which is again an abstract adjective, which means that you can feel the confidence. You cannot see or you cannot represent the confidence, but you can feel the confidence, right? And whenever you are confident dash something, we always use the preposition of. I'm confident of something, right? I'm not confident. I'm confident to do something. That means after to, we also have another verb over here. But when we are using the word confident, we always use the preposition of in order to represent the feeling that the person is sure of something. So here Abdul is sure that the person will be getting the scholarship, right? So the person is confident of winning the scholarship. Not confident to win. Confident to wins. To win means that the person is intending to win. But here the person is very sure of winning. So we are going to use confident of winning the scholarship. So option A becomes the correct answer. Alright, moving ahead. Select the most appropriate option to fill in the blank. The world dashed for the vaccines eagerly before they were launched last month. Alright, so here we have a blank that introduces tenses to us. So again, like I told you, it's very important that you know the basics. So make sure you go check out the Prime website, and over there go to the verbal course and learn what tenses are, what is the tenses theory, what are the rules of tenses and the other rules of grammar as well. All right, so let's get back to the question. The world dashed for the vaccines eagerly before they were launched. So the world has been doing something before something happened. So we have two actions over here, the world waiting and the vaccines launching. Now, whenever the first action is completed before the second action in the past, it always takes the past perfect form. That means the first action takes the past perfect form. So, past perfect means had plus been plus continuous ing, because the world had been waiting. It was in the continuation process. So it becomes past perfect continuous. So had plus been plus the ing form of verb, that is had been waiting. So option D here becomes the correct answer. Have been waiting is present perfect continuous, cannot be used because world over here is singular. We cannot use a plural verb. Has been waiting is again present perfect, cannot be used because it is in the past. So, had been waiting. Alright. Which of the following sentences uses formal language? This is a very new type of question which TCS has introduced, formal and informal language. Again, you are going to get the theory in the verbal course for Prep Insta Prime. So, if you want to check that out, make sure you go and subscribe to Prep Insta Prime. The report checked out the implications of capitalism. You finish your assignment yet? She's decided to quit and the meeting is scheduled to commence at 10 a.m. Alright. So what is a formal and an informal language? In a formal language, the first rule is use only formal terms. Alright. There should be no informal term used in a formal sentence. The second is do not use any short forms. What do you mean by short forms? When we combine two verbs together. For example, we will, we write such as will. So whenever we are using any kind of short forms or contractions, this is again another contraction. We cannot use these contractions in any kind of formal sentence. Alright, and then we cannot use any kind of exclamatory sentences. Alright, so let's read the sentences again after the rules. The report checked out the implications of capitalism. Over here, the word checked out is an informal term. Instead of checked out, we could have used enlisted or comprises. The result comprises the implications of capitalism, or the result reflected the implications of capitalism. That could have been a better formal sentence. You finished your assignment yet? Again, this is a very informal sentence. Instead of this, we could have used, have you finished your assignment yet? That could have been a better formal sentence. She is decided to quit. Again, see, we have a contraction over here. She is. Instead of this, we could have used she has decided to quit. So, informal. The meeting is scheduled to commence at 10 a.m. The meeting is scheduled to commence. So, instead of commence, we could have used started or begin. Scheduled, instead of scheduled, we could have used, arranged to begin at. So, that could have been an informal sentence. Alright, so the answer for this question becomes option D. Okay, so another quick reminder, since we have come towards the end of all of the verbal ability questions, if you're not following us on our social media handles, make sure you follow us on all of the social media platforms. The links are in the description, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and ring the notification bell so that you get notified every time we are posting a new video, which is often and regularly. Alright, so Again, top 3 commenters on this video are going to get the free access to Prep Insta Prime. So make sure you comment something great, something good, anything about your doubts, your questions, your experience with Prep Insta, and so on and so forth. So we are looking for the top 3 commenters. So start commenting. Alright, I'm going to take you to Prep Insta Prime all over again and give you the last sneak peek so that you understand how to prepare for TCS NQT. Once you come down on this section, you see that we have the entire company section divided into service and product based. And you have TCS section as well. So you have TCS ITP, TCS NQT and TCS Digital. Since we are preparing for NQT over here, you can go on to the NQT section, open the course, and you see that you have the entire course navigation from the foundation course till the advanced course. So if you come over here, you have preparation section for foundation, numerical, reasoning, verbal, traits, etc. And then you have the advanced coding section as well, which prepares you for the coding questions. All right. So if you want to clear your TCS NQT pattern, TCS NQT interview and the questions, make sure you are thorough with your preparations, and one-stop shop for your preparation is Prep Insta Prime. All right, up next, we have a quick and cool teaser for you, which helps you to understand the navigation on Prep Insta Prime and what are the benefits if you get Prep Insta Prime you can reap from. All right, so yes, that's it for the video. Watch the video till the end, and yeah, thank you so much.
We have a tailored course on how to crack any exam of TCS, be it the TCS NQT or the Ninja, Digital, or even the Code Vita. And the best thing is we cover each and every minor topic that could be asked, be it aptitude, reasoning, verbal or coding or data interpretation. We got it all covered. Talking about aptitude, we start with a basic topic as number system, as well as we cover complex topics such as elementary statistics, which is a new addition to TCS and is very important, and even data interpretation. In the verbal section, we teach students on how to ace the comprehension part, and also we make them know the very basics of English grammar, which is necessary to crack the verbal section of TCS. The coding section also contains the required logic of programming like DSA, trees, graphs, as well as we offer the programs which are frequently asked in the exam in our top 100 coding questions. Students can revise what they have learned using the Prep Insta mock assignments and tests, which are also a part of the course. When we say Prime, we do intend to give the Prime experience for all our students. We offer complimentary live classes, mock quizzes, and we cover every aspect of the TCS interview, be it the HR interview or the technical interview. It is a complete all-in-one package. Student can also check the interview experience section, which offers real-time interview experiences of freshers who have cracked the TCS interview and exams from the first-hand experience. We have material which crosses 175 plus hours of learning just for TCS. So what are you waiting for? Get the Prime experience today.